I'm having breakfast with Mary Lee. I'm having breakfast with Mary Lee.
Welcome to the Breakfast with Barry Lee podcast. Before I cut loose with the first joke, please take a moment to note the location of our emergency exits. Coming up, a salute to the Community Stars, Nick and Kathy Nerangis. My special guest will be Nancy Silva with the Community Foundation, Northern Shenandoah Valley. We'll talk about that special night for this special couple. Right now, your brain buster. According to a new survey, Wednesday is the most popular day for this. Most popular day for what? Is it A, grocery shopping, B, civic group meetings, or C, a first date? Your answer's coming up after the interview. Right now, let's take a look at the week on the podcast planner, nationaldaycalendar.com. Monday is President's Day. It's also Cherry Pie Day. Probably some correlation between the story of young George Washington and chopping down the cherry tree. Remember the story of the second graders who were being told about George Washington never telling a lie and chopping down the cherry tree? And the teacher asked the little kids, how come George's father did not punish him? One little kid said, because little George was holding an axe. Monday is also Love Your Pet Day. That's every day. And Comfy Day. Tuesday is Fat Tuesday, which dates back to ancient Roman festivals honoring deities. Wednesday is Ash Wednesday. It's also Cook a Sweet Potato Day and Margarita Day. There's a lovely combo. Margaritas and sweet potatoes, anybody? Thursday, now that's my day, Chili Day. It's also Dog Biscuit Day. Speaking of dog biscuits, it was Phil Pastorette who said, if you think dogs can't count, try putting 3 dog biscuits in your pocket and then give him only 2 of them. And Thursday is also Toast Day. Friday, Tartar Sauce Day, and it's Tortilla Chip Day. I like to dip my tortilla chips in salsa, and to give it a little bit more body, sometimes mix in cottage cheese, or you can put some Philadelphia cream cheese and mix that up in a microwave with some salsa. Makes a nice creamy dip. Saturday is Clam Chowder Day, doesn't say whether it's New England or Maryland. And Sunday is Pistachio Nut Day and Set a Good Example Day. Whenever I hear somebody use the words, set a good example, I think of the poem by Edgar Guest. It's called Sermons We See. I'd rather see a sermon than hear one any day. I'd rather one should walk with me than merely tell the way. The eye's a better pupil and more willing than the ear. Fine counsel is confusing, but example's always clear. And the best of all the preachers are the men who live their creeds, for to see good put in action is what everybody needs. Though an able speaker charms me with his eloquence, I say, I'd rather see a sermon than to hear one any day. A portion of the poem by Edgar Guest called Sermons We See. And with that thought, it sets us up for our interview about honoring 2 special people who have set good examples through the decades. Coming up on March the 9th, we're going stargazing. The Community Foundation of the Northern Shenandoah Valley is going to honor the Community Stars, Nick and Kathy Nerangis. And here to tell us all about this incredible, enlightening event is Nancy Silva, Executive Director of the Community Foundation, Northern Shenandoah Valley. And let me just say, Nancy, welcome to the podcast and happy birthday to you.
Well, thank you, Barry. I appreciate it. Hopefully I'm another year wiser, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. This is such a unique event and a neat way to honor people that have shined their light on this community for so many years. And before we talk about Community Stars on March the 9th at Fox Meadow Barn in Winchester, just a little background about Community Foundation Northern Shenandoah Valley.
Oh, thank you, Barry. Yes. The Community Foundation is a nonprofit 501c3, and it was founded in 2001 by 5 Rotarians. And since then, we have grown thanks to the community. We like to connect philanthropic individuals and organizations with our local nonprofits. We serve the city of Winchester and the counties of Clark, Frederick, and Warren. We've returned over $2.5 million to the community in grants, scholarship, and pass-through funds. Our funds reflect the charitable interest of individuals, organizations that help create them. We have endowed funds and non-endowed funds that we can offer, and we hope to give you a great return on your investment. And with that, all of the proceeds from the fees that we charge go back into the community in forms of grants. And in 2022, we gave out over $57,000 in grants to approximately 30 nonprofits.
All right, so let's circle back to March the 9th when we honor the Community Stars of Nick and Kathy Nerangis. Tell us about what this night's about, because it has a rich history.
Yes, it does. So the Community Stars event is one time a year that the CFNSV puts on a fund/fundraiser, and the committee selects the recipients. And this year, as you said, it is Nick and Kathy Nerangis. And quite frankly, being newer to the community, I didn't know much about them. But since having read their bios, I can absolutely see why the committee chose the Nerangises. They have done so much for our community, and they have such a rich history here, and we have certainly benefited from their community involvement.
Not to mention all the Happy Meals that they've that they've been able to provide us with. And
yes. This is true. You know, talking about their franchise, this to me was really impressive. They were instrumental in the development of the Ronald McDonald House program, and they were awarded the Child by Two Organization Top Contribution Award by Rosalind Carter in 1994. This was a program that was set up by the Center for Disease Control to help children get immunization.
They are an amazing couple, and they continue to give. It's going to be a night filled with goosebumps, lots of laughs, and great memories. So how do we participate? Because this is a nice dinner. It all takes place at Fox Meadow Barn, which is on Old Firehouse Road in Winchester. $75 a person from 5:30 to 8:30. 5:30 is the social hour. So how do we get to attend, Nancy?
Well, it's open to the community, so anybody who wants to honor the Nerangises or just wants to be part of this fun annual event of ours, see some old friends, certainly pick up the phone and call me 540-869-6776. And you can always email me, director@cfnsv.org. And anybody that may be interested in helping support this event, we certainly have some wonderful sponsorship opportunities for you as well. And obviously tickets come with sponsorship. So if you are wanting to attend or, again, just want to support the efforts, you can certainly make a donation in the form of a sponsorship. We would appreciate that.
And the $75 ticket price, that money goes into the foundation and comes right back out to the community.
Yes, it does, Barry. It's always wonderful to be able to have the funds there for us to be able to give to our nonprofits during our annual grant application season.
And the website where you can also find out more about the Community Stars event or about the foundation is cfnsv.org, cfnsv.org.
Barry, I would be remiss if I did not thank you. You are for sure one of our community stars as well. I think it's incredible to have watched you this past year raise funds for the Chain of Checks. And thank you again. 5 of our local nonprofits received $25,000 in total from the Chain of Checks campaign. So that was $5,000 to each nonprofit. So kudos to you. You're a great example of what can be done in our community and with the Community Foundation. So congratulations to you on that, and I look forward to having a wonderful, long friendship with you.
Well, you're very kind, but you know, and I know, that it's this very, very generous community that heaps lots of love on neighbors in need, and they deserve all the credit. But thanks very much for the kind remarks. And darn, I didn't get you a birthday present. But
just hearing your voice is present enough. Honestly, you're always so uplifting to speak to.
Well, thank you so much for the plug, but I have to turn that right around and say, what was it, 2013, that the Community Foundation pretty much set the Chain of Checks on its way so that it could be an endowment that would give forever. So thank you for being the fiscal agent, and you guys make it easy. You and your staff, Kathy, and you guys make it so easy, and you take good care of us. Thanks for helping us help others.
Oh, absolutely. That's what we're here for.
And I'm looking forward to being the massacre of ceremonies on the 9th. Again, that's the Community Foundation Community Stars honoring Nick and Kathy Nerangis, March the 9th. And here's a great way to just shine our love on this beautiful couple. So get your tickets, come on out and join us for a special night. And Nancy Silva, I'm going to let you go have some cake. Nancy Silva's the Executive Director of Community Foundation of Northern Shenandoah Valley. Thanks for being on the podcast. And again, happy birthday.
Thank you. Look forward to seeing you at the event.
That is going to be such a special night. Hope you can join us on March the 9th to honor Nick and Kathy Nerangis. Love those two. And I know you just love to know the answer to the Brain Buster. According to a new survey, Wednesday is the most popular day for this. For what? Is it A, grocery shopping, B, civic group meetings, or C, a first date? And the answer is C, a first date. Well, stop and think about it. I mean, Friday, Saturday, places are going to be crowded. I can see where Wednesday would be a good option. Heck, I was so shy, I was happy to have a date any day of the week. Thanks so much for joining me on the podcast. Let me know where you're listening from. My email address right there at the website where you can tune into the podcast. Please share the site with others, breakfastwithbarrylee.com. And in closing, you know, President's Day is supposed to honor all former presidents, but things are so divided right now. Democrats don't want to honor the Republican presidents. Republicans don't want to honor the Democratic presidents. So instead, everybody just go shopping. Have a blessed week.